That might have been one of the greatest anime movies that I've ever seen in my entire lifetime. If you have not seen the movie, pause this video, buy a ticket to your nearest movie theater, and go watch that movie right now because that was absolute peak. All right, there's a lot I want to talk about. I want to dive deep because that was almost 3 hours of goodness. By the way, I thought that movie was gonna end like 10 times before we got to the final fight of that movie. I thought they were going to be like, oh, we're going to leave it on a cliffhanger. They're not going to give us 3 fights in the movie. Anyways, don't worry if you haven't seen the movie. I'm not getting into spoilers in the beginning of this video. I'll let you know when I start talking about the spoilers. But I just wanted to talk about the base of the movie. Now, I am not exaggerating on my initial reaction. That is one of the greatest movies, not greatest movies in general, but greatest anime movies I've seen in theaters. Definitely was better than Mugen Train. That's for sure. I can say that with all my heart. That was better than Mugen Train. That's the best Demon Slayer movie that we have seen so far. And in typical Demon Slayer fashion, that movie relies a lot on their fights and their backstories. And there comes my biggest complaint with the movie. The amount of backstories. Now, there was a certain backstory at the end of the movie that was really long. It was probably 40 minutes of the movie. That was the biggest complaint to people online. I'm not even talking about that. I really enjoyed that story. I'll dive deeper into it later, but that was a really good backstory for that person. I really enjoyed it. It made a lot of sense, and it kind of gave that character more personality. But I will say, one of my biggest complaints, why can't we build up a character before they get killed off? Why do we have to show every single thing that's important to them right before they die? Why can't we just see this beforehand? Why do we got to be like, oh, Tanjiro's dead. Let's show his entire life story. Obviously, Tanjiro didn't die. He's the main character of the series. But you know what I mean. They gotta stop with it. Like, the flashbacks took up like half of the movie. Some of them weren't bad, but some of them dragged on just a little bit. But besides that, it was really good. That's the only really part I could fault that on. I mean, it's Demon Slayer. They made me have literal goosebumps in the movie theater. So if you were debating whether or not you wanted to see it in movies or just wait for it to be animated and on Crunchyroll, I would say see it in the movie theaters because there's certain scenes when you just hear all like the stereos behind you. It was just beautiful to hear that like crackle and beautiful animation. By the way, there's no one that's doing it like Demon Slayer animation wise. I thought to myself in the movie theater, I'm like, imagine Dragon Ball Z came out now. They would get this level of animation every single arc, and Dragon Ball would probably be considered the bona fide GOAT in my opinion. All right, enough with that. Enough with the baseline. I want to talk about the actual movie. So, if you got all the way up to this point and you haven't seen the movie, you can pause the video now, click off the video, click on another one of my videos, and subscribe. But yeah, I'm gonna dive more into the spoilers. Okay, so the movie consisted of 3 main fights: Upper 2 Shinobu, Zenitsu versus his brother, I think, and then we have Akaza versus Giyu and Tanjiro. First fight I'm going to talk about is Shinobu. To be fully honest, I wasn't like the biggest fan of Shinobu. My friend loved Shinobu. That's his main in Demon Slayer Chronicles. He loves her. Like that was his main guy. I feel like I'm very glad she lost. I was thinking to myself in the movie theater, I'm like, if there's some way how she beats the upper rank 2 demon, I would be very upset. And she didn't. She got dog walked. She had a couple cool moments, had her backstory. I didn't even know about her sister. And then she got absorbed by Upper Rank 2. That was really good. I am aware that I think someone else fights him in the next movie, so they were just setting up. I did like that they were kind of showcasing his powers, and they were showing us, yeah, these guys might be the top rank Hashiras, Demon Slayers of the world, but the top 2, like top 4 upper ranks are on a different level. As for the other upper ranks, like upper rank 6 that fought Zenitsu, he's dog water. He's trash. They made, yeah. So upper rank 6 is the first upper rank to die in this movie. They make it really known that he's inexperienced. He doesn't really know what he's doing. He became a demon like a couple months ago. He hasn't mastered any of his techniques. It takes since he was a demon slayer beforehand and he has thunder breathing. It takes him a while to fully develop into a demon and access his full potential. So they make that known because, spoiler, Zenitsu beats him. And I don't know how I feel about that. It was really cool to see Zenitsu like lock in and like he obviously had a lot of backstory. This was his entire character arc. his Grams killed himself because his brother over here, I don't know if it's actual brother, but I'm gonna refer to him as that. His brother turned into a demon and then kind of disgraced the family name with thunder breathing. So that kind of completed Zenitsu's arc. But my main problem with this fight is it was ended in one move. Yeah, it was ended in one move. And they kind of, it was weird. They started off the fight like showing off Zenitsu. Zenitsu like cut the demon right here without the demon even reacting. He got scared. He got very scared, the demon. He was like, dude, Zenitsu's like strong as shit. How? I might not be able to beat him. And then Zenitsu continued to get dog walked the entire fight until the end. He showed like nothing of that speed he had at the first second, and I don't know where it went. It was mostly just like backstory, them talking about their history together. But I will say, what saved the fight at the end was Zenitsu creating a new form of thunder breathing. Him finally getting a different form than first form. I thought that was really cool. Probably the best animated thing in that. No, the next fight I'm going to talk about was better animated, but it was beautiful. At the end of the day, it's Demon Slayer. Fights are what they do best. But yeah, I wasn't the biggest fan that it ended in one move. The final move was really cool, and at the end of the day, I'm being really critical, but it was really entertaining. I probably would see it again. So that's the second fight I wanted to talk about. Third and final fight was my favorite one, Akaza versus Giyu and Tanjiro. All right, to be fully honest, there was like 10 points in this movie where I thought it was going to end before the fight. I did not know we were going to get that Akaza fight in this movie. And let me say, I was so happy that we got that. Dude, that might have been the greatest animation I have seen in Demon Slayer thus far. Might be better than Tengen versus Uzu. Oh, Tengen versus Uzu, that's his name. I mean, Tengen versus Gutara. The fight starts off with like Akaza pulling up on Tanjiro and Giyu. And my favorite part about Akaza, by the way, he's my favorite character of this entire series. He'll just pull up on you. Like, right as you think the main character is like thinking of something, ready to think a character is like planning their next move, Akaza's right here. He's pulling up on you and like speed blitzing you with the meanest punch of all time. And he does that. That's how he goes into this fight. He instantly speed blitzed Tanjiro, and then when Giyu saves him, they kind of set up the 1v1 for Giyu and Akaza. Now this fight went a lot differently than I thought. When I heard about it in the manga, I thought Giyu kind of clapped Akaza. I thought he kind of soloed him. But that was not the case at all. Yeah, Giyu was holding his own and boxing with Akaza. But Akaza is truly on a different level. If this movie showed us anything, that Rengoku was like top 3 Hashira. He might have been better than Giyu. I mean, he damn near killed Akaza by himself. And we know Giyu from that movie, he was not able to do that. He needed help from the main character. Before I get into how that fight ended, I just want to say that there was a sequence in that fight where I thought it was so weird. Like, Akaza and Giyu were fighting. And then randomly, I must have missed it, Akaza sends Giyu flying so far away. And now for like the next 10 minutes of screen time, Akaza is just fighting Tanjiro. And all I could think about to myself is, how has Giyu not coming back yet? Not to mention, Tanjiro has insane plot armor at this point. They do a really cool thing with Akaza. Every single time that Tanjiro interacts with Akaza in the fight, he kind of gets no diffed until the very end, really showcasing how strong Akaza is, because it seemed like a lot of people thought that he was one of the weaker ones because of Mugen. But yeah, of course, the main character needs to survive, even though I would have been fine with Akaza killing him. Tanjiro figures out a way to lock in, and he finally defeats Akaza by cutting off his head. Now, I thought this was over. I thought the movie was over. I already needed to pee like 20 minutes ago, so I was ready to dip. It was like 10 p.m. And then Akaza refuses to die. And now I'm like, hold on, wait a second. Huh? I thought the entire way that you would kill a demon is chopping off their neck. Why is Akaza still running around like a headless chicken? Hold on. Sit down in your seats. I'm going to need to explain this to y'all. So basically, Akaza just didn't want to die. That's how it is. It's that simple. He didn't want to die, so he made it so if you cut off his head, he's not gonna die. He just decided, you know what? That rule doesn't apply to me. You're not killing me. And then he just starts wailing on them again, and now they're scared shitless. I mean, Tanjiro and Giyu thought they won the fight. Tanjiro is passed out in the corner. They don't know what to do. And then we get the 40-minute flashback of Akaza, which is what I've heard online, most people's complaint about this movie, it was a 40-minute flashback about this character. I know I've been hating on the flashbacks in this movie, but I will say that was one of my favorite flashbacks in the show. That was a beautiful story. It really humanized him, and it showed us that he really had it rough. His entire life. I swear, Muzan just be picking the people who have it the worst and be like, all right, here's my blood. Come on, be an upper rank demon, because Akaza had so much turmoil in his life. He was trying to get medicine for his father that was dying, so he became a criminal, started stealing. His father killed himself because his son was a thief. So then Akaza got taken in by this guy who saw potential in him, and he started taking care of his daughter, all this fun stuff, and then his daughter wanted to marry Akaza, and now he wants to take over the dojo. He was at the peak of life, and then some random motherfuckers poison the well, so that guy who took him in and his daughter died when Akaza was away at his father's grave. And so Akaza murdered, might I add, I'm not joking here, 67 people with his bare hands. Muzan heard this, gave him blood. That's how Akaza was born. And can I be fully honest? If I'm in Akaza's situation, I'm doing the same exact thing. Maybe not 67 people, because that's a funny number. But that's how Akaza gets defeated. He kind of realizes that he gets all his like old memories back, and he kind of gives up. He's like, I kind of want to be with my people in the afterlife. I'm done being a demon, and then he kind of disintegrates. But right before I end this video, I want to talk about the end of that battle, like the aftermath. Like Giyu and Chandro can't even stand. They it took so much out of them just to beat Akaza, and he's like the fourth strongest guy in here. I have zero clue how they're gonna beat upper two, upper one, let alone the main villain Musa. I know they're gonna do it. It's obvious. I mean, Demon Slayer is not gonna end with Muzan winning, but it's like there has never been a point in the show where I'm like, okay, where do we go from here? And I'm very excited, but I guess we're gonna have to wait 2 more years. Looks like, you know what? Let's make a subscriber goal. Before the next Demon Slayer movie comes out, I hope to have 10,000 subscribers. I think I could do it before the next Demon Slayer movie comes out. We'll have 10,000 subs, and then we'll revisit this topic, and then we'll talk about that movie. But anyway, if you made it all the way to this end of the video, thank you. I appreciate you watching. I hope you like the content. And yeah, Demon Slayer, really good. Final rating, I rate it 4 stars out of 5. Not perfect, but you know what you're getting yourself into if you're seeing the movie. So if you haven't seen it already, go see it. And thank you guys for watching. I'll see you in the next one. Peace.